Yo, what is up everyone? Obviously, most of you will know we recently had a balance patch for Command & Conquer Rivals. So that was on 25th of March. I'm just bringing you this video to give you my thoughts on the on this update. So obviously it's yeah, it's not the best update we've ever seen, I'll be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with the changes. I just don't think enough has happened here. But yeah, I'll give you a summary at the end. I just wanted to say up front that I'm not super happy with it. The changes are all good in my opinion. It's just there's not enough of them. All right, so let's talk about the individual updates. So Liang cost from 40 to 50, reverting the cost reduction from the previous patch as Liang is still proving to be too strong. All right, well this doesn't make any sense. Like, they're saying they're reverting the cost reduction because Liang is still too strong. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you reduce the cost if it was too strong previously? It's proving to still be too strong after you reduced the cost. Yeah, you gave it a buff. Of course it was going to still be too strong. Anyway, this is going to make no difference, basically. Obviously, it's a little bit of a difference. 10 Tiberium each time you make Liang drone does matter. It's a little bit slower on the first missile for the pad stealing. But we had it at 50 previously before it got randomly changed to 40, and it was too good. So it's still going to be too good. Like, this is obviously a good change because it's a nerf, but it's not enough. Liang is still going to be the best commander by a lot. It's still S tier. It's just going to be the best commander. It's going to be broken. Needs more changes. I would have liked to see either like uptime reduction, I think would have been really good, or heal percent reduction, or can't contest pads, or longer initial cooldown so you can't steal the first missile with it. Any of those things would have been great. But instead we just see a 10 cost increase, which is good. It's a nerf. Liang needs nerfs. It's just not enough. Okay, Sandstorm. The Sandstorm has lost, what is this, 677 hit points? Yeah, 677 hit points. That is a huge nerf. So 10% is 430. So this is like 15% hit point nerf. That's massive. That's like more than losing a level on your Sandstorm. So they say Sandstorm survives too long for a high damage multi-purpose unit. Reducing its health will make it easier for players to deal with. Okay, so this is a huge nerf. I actually think Sandstorm is going to suck now, but I also think it's a good change still. Sandstorm was way too strong. The big problem with Sandstorm, though, is it's so good with Liang. Without Liang, Sandstorm wasn't really a big problem. So the actual Sandstorm didn't need a colossal nerf. Like, Liang just needed to be less good. But as long as Liang is in the game and Sandstorm can be paired with it, it was too good. So this is a good change. Although I do think Sandstorm, I think it's maybe too much. I think Sandstorm might just be terrible now. I haven't tried it enough yet to say, but I think that it's a lot weaker. It used to be able to beat 2 missile troopers with Liang, which was it was insane. It was way too good. But now it just gets crushed by missiles, which is, again, it's a good thing, but I think it also gets crushed by Predator tanks now. And probably Scorpions as well. It might, like, it still crushes air, I think, but it's nowhere near as good as it was against vehicles on the ground because it dies a lot quicker, and it's a lot worse versus infantry. But I mean, it sounds like I'm saying that's a bad thing, but it's not, because the Sandstorm was stupid, so it's a good change. However, Sandstorm without Liang is going to be absolute garbage now. It's now, and it also gets like 2-shot by Titans now. It's going to be really, really bad without Liang, and it's going to be like decent with Liang, but not great anymore. Alright, Mammoth Tank's gone cost 230 to 250. I don't like this change at all. I like that Mammoth Tank got a nerf. I think Mammoth Tank was too strong, but I would have gone for a speed nerf. I think the speed boost is what made it too good in the first place. Like, that speed buff made it too strong. The issue with a unit like Mammoth Tank is that normally the game ends before it can reach the pads. Making it cost 20 more is going to make it take even longer to come out and reach the pads. So it won't change the fact that Mammoth Tank is completely dominant. It'll just change whether or not the game is over by the time the Mammoth Tank arrives. If someone gets a Mammoth Tank out, they're still going to kill you with it. Like, most games with a Mammoth Tank, you didn't need a second Mammoth Tank. The first one won the game on its own, along with some anti-air support. So that's not going to change. It'll be a little bit slower to come out, but if it comes out and starts taking over, the game will still be over and you'll be dead. So it doesn't really make that much difference, I think. And the economy is such that you make, I think, 11 Tiberium a second in the late game with Double Harvester. So it takes you 25 seconds instead of, or like 24 seconds, 23 seconds instead of 21 seconds. Who cares? Like, I mean, once you ramp up to that stage, you're still going to be able to spam mammoth tanks. So, and they're still going to dominate the field. So I think stat nerf would have been way better than cost nerf. But again, mammoth tank needed a nerf, and this is a nerf. So I guess it's good. It's just not the right nerf, in my opinion. Slingshot, 50 to 60. Slingshot is too efficient for its cost with high damage design. This will put its cost more in line with its stats. I mean, I agree the slingshot is too efficient. But again, I think this is going to be like a standard. All these changes are changes, but the wrong changes. And they're nerfs on things that needed nerfs, but they're the wrong nerfs. The slingshot to 60, most people just make one slingshot and it area denies for the rest of the game. That's normally how slingshot works. Maybe you make a second one. But the extra 10 cost doesn't really matter, because you don't really spam slingshots. And you don't really need them super early either. Like, normally if your opponent makes a unit that a slingshot can kill efficiently, you can already afford a slingshot, because it's only like laser drones and venom and talon that might come out quickly enough for a slingshot to not be immediately available to you. So, not a great fan of this change. I think a speed nerf again would have been pretty good. The fact it moves around so quickly is kind of insane. And the only time you spam slingshots is against Orca Bombers. And this is going to make it worse against Orca Bomber, which it already wasn't great against. That's the problem with Slingshot, is it's too good versus cheap air, and it's not that good versus expensive air, but its only job is anti-air. So when it's bad against your opponent's air, it's complete trash. So yeah, not really super hyped about this. I think other changes would have been better, like either a damage reduction, so that it becomes more of a unit that you have to support, instead of it just killing everything on its own, or a speed reduction, so it's too difficult, so it's harder to like get it out of harm's way from ground units. So yeah, not super hyped about this. But again, Slingshot was too good and it got a nerf, so that's a good change. But I think it's the wrong change. Solomon. Damage destructs from 6,000 to 4,000. So as they say in the description, when Iron Cannon damage was changed to be gradual from its base tile, the structure damage was set too high. So this is a bug. Solomon was never supposed to do 6,000. It was always supposed to do 4,000. But when they changed it, doing 50% on the outer tile, and they changed it to be a gradual reduction from the outer, from the middle, they accidentally changed to 6,000 damage for some reason. So now it's 4,000. Great. Solomon base kill was stupid. That was bugged. So it's a bug fix. Good bug fix. Zone Trooper. Delay between attacks from 0.75 to 1.5. Okay, so there's a few units in here where they have delay between attacks changed. So we're talking about Zone Troopers, Cyborgs, and Laser Drones. I want to make this clear right now. For all of these units, this does not impact their DPS over a sustained period of time. They have the same... This is not a dramatic nerf to their DPS. So what used to happen is, Zone Troopers would fire twice in 3 seconds, but they'd fire both their shots within 0.75 seconds. So they'd go shoot immediately, shoot again at 0.75 seconds, not shoot again until 3 seconds. Now, they go shoot immediately, shoot at 1.5, shoot again at 3. So the same number of shots will happen within a 3-second period. It'll just take longer for the second shot to fire. This was a bug. The same bug was on Cyborgs and Laser Drones. The bug has been fixed now on all of those units. So the actual DPS is the same, but it means that they don't do as much upfront damage. So things like a Venom would get insta-gibbed within 0.75 seconds when it tried to attack Zone Troopers. Now it takes 1.5 seconds to kill a Venom with your Zone Troopers with 2 shots. So what this means is that things like Venoms will get a little bit of damage in instead of just instantly dying to a Zone Trooper. So this is a good change, because again, it's a bug fix. It's a good change. What this is primarily going to do is mean that squad units like Wheels and Drone Swarm and Riflemen and Shock Troopers, all the squad units, they're going to lose less models at the initial 0.75 seconds of damage. So like Rifles used to lose a model at 0.75 seconds. Drone Swarm would lose 2 models by 0.75 seconds. Wheels would lose 2 models by 0.75 seconds. Those units now have an extra 0.75 seconds to fire before they lose their second model, which correlates to an increase in DPS for those units against Zone Troopers. That's what this change does. It makes squad units better against Zone Troopers, basically, and Cyborgs and Laser Drones. That's what it's going to do. It's not a huge nerf. It might look like it's a big nerf, but it's not. It just changes how fast they fire their 2 shots within the 3-second period that they would normally fire 2 shots. Alright, that was complicated. I just spent like 5 minutes talking about that, it feels like. But hopefully you guys understand it now. It's basically a bug fix, and it's a good one. Zone Troopers were kind of oppressive with this burst fire like pattern, so it's a great change. Mohawk, rate of fire from 1.15 to 1.3. This one is not like Zone Troopers. This is an actual DPS nerf. It now takes 1.3 seconds for a Mohawk to fire each shot instead of 1.15. So it takes 0.15 seconds longer for each shot from the Mohawk. Okay, so the main reason for this change is to make it better versus, also worse versus Bikes and Pitbulls. Mohawk was kind of dominating Bikes and Pitbulls, which were the primary anti-air units used that they would actually trade shots with. Because obviously, Slingshot just shoots them from 2 range away. Stealth Tank one-shots Mohawks, so they don't trade shots. And then things like missiles is a bad matchup anyway, and then tanks can't shoot back. So the only thing this really impacts is the Bikes and Pitbull matchup, and it makes the Mohawk worse in those matchups. So now, if you stack 2 Pitbulls, you're going to do better against a Mohawk than you used to. You'd always lose a Pitbull before. I'm not sure if you do anymore. You probably do still, but it is a change that will make the Mohawk worse against those Pitbulls. Maybe it doesn't get an extra shot off at the second Pitbull. But the main way this is going to change things is with Bikes. Bikes used to lose a model going into a Mohawk, so they would only fire 2 of their missiles against a Mohawk on defense, like the Mohawk on defense. But now the Mohawk is slow enough that it won't kill a Bikes unit before the Bikes fire. So they're going to get an extra missile when they go in against the Mohawk. This makes Bikes a lot better against Mohawk. Okay, moving on. Basically, this just means that Pitbulls and Bikes will be better, mainly Bikes. Orca Bomber, reload time from 10 seconds to 12 seconds. So it says Orca Bomber is a very effective ground clearing unit. In order to balance its payload, we're increasing its reload time to allow counters to be able to deal with it better. Alright, so again, Orca Bomber was too good in my opinion. I'm glad they nerfed it, but again, it's the wrong change in my opinion. The problem with Orca Bomber isn't that it reloads too quickly. I mean, that was kind of a problem. It was a little bit too fast, especially with boosts from like Jackson. But that wasn't really the issue, because normally what happens is an Orca Bomber comes in, it bombs you, it does a ton of damage, then it runs away, and it hides until it reloads. Obviously, that is going to be a longer period now. That is a good change. It'll make the Orca Bomber weaker. But it's that initial bombing run that really makes Orca Bomber so powerful.
Your convoy has arrived.
Oh, my convoy's arrived. Exciting. And the real issue with Orca Bomber, in my opinion, is the amount of time it creates area denial within a pad. So obviously it bombs a 7-tile radius. So it'll bomb the entire pad, and it bombs for a really long time. It takes ages for its bombs to finish dropping. Which means you can't contest that pad with ground units during that time, because they'll just suicide into the bombs. That's the real issue with Orca Bomber, in my opinion. With like an Inferno, it bombs and you get the fire as area denial, but that only really affects small squad units like wheels and rifles and missiles. Everything else can survive the fire. So you can still move in. You can tank the fire with some units, and other units can move through the fire and survive it. You can't do that against an Orca Bomber. The bombs will kill everything. Like, nothing can go in and survive the bombs dropping. So I think that was the problem. So I would like to see the Orca Bomber just have less bombs, potentially, or drop them faster. Obviously, this might make it better at killing a single target, but I think that's what the Orca Bomber should be good at. It should do a lot of damage to, like, one thing. And maybe you reduce its damage when you increase its rate of fire to balance it out. Anyway, good change because it's a nerf to Orca Bomber, which needed a nerf, but again, I think just the wrong change. I don't think that was what was making the Orca Bomber too good, but it's a basic change, and it's fine, so it's not the worst. I mean, it's a good change. It's just not... I just don't think it does the job that we're looking for. Alright, Cyborgs, this is the same as Zones. Exactly the same. They were firing too quickly within their fire pattern, but it's a big difference here because Cyborgs fire twice within 2 seconds, because they have one attack, like a delay between attacks, so they will fire once every... I think if they fire fast enough, they're firing twice. They're effectively firing once a second. Previously, they'd fire once at 0 and once at 0.75, and then again at 2. So it's not as big a deal on these guys as it was on the Zones, because they get more shots in anyway, so their burst fire pattern wasn't as powerful. Plus, Cyborgs just kind of suck. Like, they don't have heal like Zone Troopers. They cost 10 more than Zone Troopers. Their damage is worse than Zone Troopers. They're just awful. They're so much worse than Zone Troopers, it's ridiculous. They have the EMP, but who cares? The EMP is rubbish. So yeah, this is again just a bug fix, but it's not as impactful on Cyborgs as it is in Zones. Again, this is a bug fix. The health decrease is a good change. This means that there won't be as many breakpoints with attack bikes having less air damage. So this means that you're less likely to get wrecked if your attack bikes are under leveled against laser drones. So if you have like level 50, level 12 attack bikes against level 13 laser drones or whatever, you're still going to be able to kill one drone per shot instead of it sometimes being the drones taking 2 missiles per drone, which was insane. The delay between squad attacks has gone from 0.3 to 0.4. I'm not 100% sure what laser drones were supposed to be. I hope they've got the numbers right, but I'm not totally sure. But anyway, it's just meant to be a bug fix. It should make them worse versus attack bikes will be the main thing, and pit bulls. So generally a nerf to laser drones, because the burst fire pattern won't kill a bike as the bike is moving in, which is what used to happen. But yeah, they'll be slightly worse versus bikes. It's not a big change though. Alright, and finally, Jade Catalyst Missile. Cloud was bugged from the previous patch. This change corrects the damage output. Okay, this is actually incorrect. So what actually happened here is the Jade Missile itself was changed from 3,500 damage to 2,500 damage. And what they were supposed to do is change the structure damage only and leave the rest of the damage in. But what they actually did was change all damages. So it was now doing 2,500 to vehicles and aircraft and infantry instead of the 3,500 it's supposed to be. Now, this change should theoretically change it so the missile now does the proper 3,500 damage. I hope. Obviously, it says they've changed the cloud, but I'm hoping that what they actually mean is they fixed the missile as well, but I haven't tested that one yet. I'm pretty sure they fixed the missile damage. And then also the cloud on a unit. So if you missile a cloud, the explosion that comes from that cloud was not doing enough damage on the tile that was hit by the missile. It was doing pathetic damage, like 250, when it's supposed to be doing like 2,500 or something. So hopefully that's now also been fixed. And if you bomb a unit that has a cloud on it, it should now take about 7,000 damage, which will kill basically anything, like including a mammoth tank. Now I need to test that. So I will check that and get back to you guys in the comments. But I'm pretty sure now if you catalyst missile a mammoth tank that has a cloud on it, it should die from the missile plus the explosion. But I will check that one. And that is the main change here. It's just the missile damage is supposed to be doing 3,500 units instead of 2,500, which is what its structure damage is supposed to be, but not its unit damage. So that's again another bug fix. So let's take a look at these changes and talk about them, right? I've got Liang, Sandstorm, Mammoth, Slingshot. These are all good changes in my opinion, but they're the wrong ones. I'm not super happy with the change they went with. Like, they're good changes, I just don't think they're the correct change. Solomon, bug fix. Untrue, bug fix. Mohawk, good change. This one I actually like. This one I like a lot. I think it's a great change. It's not a big change, but it's a good one. And the Mohawk was slightly too good, so yeah, this one I like a lot. Orca Bomber, again, I think the wrong change, but it's the right direction at least. At least it's a nerf. Bug fix, and a good breakpoint change, and bug fix. So yeah, all of these changes basically are bug fixes or good, like they're in the right direction, but the wrong change in my opinion. All right, guys, I hope you have enjoyed that take on things. Obviously, this is all from the perspective of High Tiberium as well. Like that's where my perspective comes from. So your mileage may vary. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the patch notes. Also, again, there's stuff missing. Like, there's no Fnatic nerf. There's no... what was I going to... Yeah, no Razorback. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. There's no Fnatic nerf, no Razorback nerf, which are, like, you know, two of the most powerful units in the game right now. So it's sad that neither of those are in there. And there's still no sweeping tech changes, which I would really like to see. But yeah, hope you guys like that, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I'll see you next time.